So the morning sun of late autumn cascades through the window and through the curtains that were drawn. Uh, it hits your skin and is a little warm because the coolness of the inn kind of as winter is slowly approaching um, the continent of where you are. And you all kind of gather your things and head downstairs, grab some food and some libations for the journey ahead, and you step out into the town of Fliff, um, where it's a little. You see frost kind of covering some windows, and there's a nippliness to the air. Um, as the crunch of leaves below you are crisp with a frost covering them. You kind of stand in the middle of the square and decide what your next move is. What do you do?
Well, Mr. Eliot said we should go, to the under to stake out the fairy godmother. And the last time we did that was kind of an accident. We kind of fell through that mirror. I don't know what that mirror is anymore, or if it even is there like still.
I do know from Talib that there are holes to the under, but I have no idea where we could find one.
Can't one of you guys cast a spell and like detect it or something?
Not if it's miles away.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where the under is. Is it actually underneath us, or is it like a pocket dimension? I haven't read that far in my histories since I now know how to read.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna get there by digging a hole, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
I feel like it's another plane of existence, and there's just little tunnels and portals and places to it. But the only way I believe to find the under is not possibly to look for the under. I know that's confusing, but I don't know. Maybe we just walk into the forest and hope we happen upon it. Because I don't think anybody here would know. And I think Eliot has already left.
Right.
It seems a little reckless. I don't really have any other ideas, though.
DM, do we know about the story of Alice, or has that not been mentioned to us? I don't recall.
Um, I think maybe in general, you know bits and pieces of her story just from being in the under and talking to Alice and being there. So I would say that you generally know what it is.
Do you think we need to find the Alice girl, and maybe she can lead us there, and ask how she first found the under? I know that's also big thought too. That's like more finding.
I mean, is she going to be easier to find than some sort of hole? I mean, do you have any idea where she might be?
In the under? Oh, that
I
doesn't
know
help
she
at
had
all.
to defeat the Jabberwocky.
Yeah, she might still be there. And we don't have any of those totems that might have, led us to the under, I guess. I
No,
say your idea
but
walk.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
We're going after a fairy godmother, right? The fairy godmother. And Talib is there.
Mhm.
Maybe if we all just think really, really hard, we can call upon them to help us.
Okay. I'm thinking really hard, and her face is going red.
Breathe, Thal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, maybe that doesn't work.
Well, maybe it doesn't work with mermaids. What if it just works with you because you have a connection with him?
Can you use that connection to like locate Talib or communicate with him? Could you send him a message?
I wish that like fairy godmothers were easier to find.
I don't know, but I feel like we're wasting time.
Give me 1 second. I gotta think.
Okay, don't forget to breathe.
Oh, I mean, I'm breathing. I'm breathing now.
Elwyn looks around. She's like, let's go in the woods. I have a plan.
Okay. All right, lead the way.
She starts out of the town square and she slowly walks back into the woods with guiding the group.
Okay.
And she's gonna walk about 10 or 15 minutes into the wood, and she's gonna start grabbing nuts that have fallen and spore of a mushroom that she sees and little things here and there.
Roll nature.
17 plus 6.
So as you kind of go along the forest path, you start foraging for, different things that you need to gather, and you find everything.
Okay. She grabs her little, there's cute little flowers, mushrooms, seeds, and things that just call to her. And she looks back and she's like, I'm gonna go just over there. And she points off to like one of the bigger trees in this little patch of forest that they're in. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get
Okay.
us some answers.
Okay, try to stay where we can see you.
Yeah, of course. And she brings her little bag of goodies and she walks to the tree and she kneels by it. She places all of the items delicately at the root of the tree and she casts divination because she puts everything in a very ritualistic order. And she closes her eyes, tilts her head back. She looks up at the tree and she's like, Sintheir, Grandmother Willow, can anybody hear me?
Um, roll wisdom.
Plus 4, 14.
So you kind of sit there for a moment, surrounded by nature and the things that you've gathered in front of a tree. And it takes a moment as you're sitting there, and nothing happens at first. And then just as you're about to kind of give up a little bit, you feel the tree in front of you start to move, as the bark and branches start to change, and a crisp wind blows through your poncho, and you see that Grandmother Willow appears in front of you. Ah, yes, my child Elowen. How are you?
Hello. I'm all right.
What can I
It's
do for you?
I was seeking guidance on how to get somewhere that we need to be.
Okay, well, you've come to the right place. What can I do for you?
We need to find a way into the under.
Oh, okay. Going on a bit of an adventure, I see.
Always.
All right. Well, the best way to get there, I always say, is through a rabbit hole. Have you seen any rabbits lately?
Has she?
Look around.
Elowen, like, she sits up a bit and she looks around.
As you kind of turn and look, you see just a little bushel of white rabbits chittering over by another tree, not too far off from where you are. And then as they kind of look at you, they kind of perk up and then they get back down, and then they scurry to what looks to be like bushes in front of an old dead-looking tree.
Okay. So follow the rabbits in their hole.
Yes, just as young Alice had once done.
Thank you.
Of course. Is there anything else I can do for you?
I've received some bad news about myself.
Oh,
I
my dear.
played with magic I didn't understand.
What have you done?
I brought two people back from the dead.
Oh, and you see her like her face kind of like she just gets like frumpled and things like that. And she looks at you and she says, "Well, when you mess with the balance of life and death, things can happen. But I'm sure you will find a way out of this."
I don't know if there is a way. There's not been many good outcomes of a hellhound. And there's one after me. I
Mm,
wanted to thank you for being there to guide me.
I see. I see. Well, what you'll need to do is don't let it scare you. And if death comes for you, embrace it as a friend. But I'm sure you will find a way to persevere. You always have.
Thank you. I don't know if I will, but if I can't, I'll embrace death like a friend.
It comes and goes. It is a cycle, as you know. Maybe you'll be reborn into something new. Just be
Maybe.
careful when you mess with life and death. Healing is one thing. You only pull from a small portion of magic when you heal another soul. But when you bring one back from the dead, there's a debt, an imbalance, and it will come for you.
I just couldn't let that boy die.
You did a noble thing.
Yeah.
Perhaps the god of death will be forgiving.
Grim?
Yes.
Maybe. Never spoke to him before.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't start now. All right, I must go. I'm so sorry. I don't have much time here left.
Thank you, Grandmother.
Of
Willow.
course. Good luck. And she disappears back into the tree.
Elowen kind of gets a little teary-eyed, thinking of how mortal she is and how consequences are coming back at her. And she takes a deep breath and she stands up and she starts to walk back to the group and she's like, I found out how to get to Underland.
Really?
Great.
That was fast.
Uh, we just have to go down a rabbit's hole.
Will we fit?
Yeah, what she said.
I think it's magical, and I don't think you have to worry about that.
Oh.
But come on, I found a possible place. Follow me.
Okay.
Elowen leads the group back to the tree, and then she's going to look for that dead tree that all of the white rabbits were conspiring at.
Um, as you get closer, you realize that there is somewhat of a hole deep into the earth where they had buried themselves into, a little larger than a normal rabbit hole.
So did we just like dive in?
I think so. We should at least start to crawl.
I like jumping down holes.
Well, I don't think it's straight down here.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Well, since I led you all this way, I'll go.
All right. Val seems a little too happy about this for some reason.
The rabbit hole goes straight on like a tunnel for some way and then dips suddenly down, so that you had not a moment to think about stopping yourself before you find yourself falling down a very deep well. Either the well was very deep or or you're falling very slowly. You had plenty of time as you went to look up around yourself and and wonder what was going to happen next. Um, First, you might try to look down and make out where you were going, but it's a little see anything. And then you look at the sides of the well and notice that they were filled with cupboards and bookshelves. Here and there, you see maps and pictures hung upon pegs. Um, there are jars on some of the shelves as you pass labeled orange marmalade, but to your great disappointment, they might be empty. Um, Down, down, down. You're wondering to yourself when the fall would ever come to an end. At this point, it feels like you might have passed through the center of the earth. Um, Eventually, um, uh, there was a thump, and you have fallen down on a heap of sticks and dry leaves, and the fall is over. You aren't hurt one bit or anything like that. Um, And when you look around, you realize that it's very dark overhead. But before you is a long passage um, going forward.
Well, do you think we made it?
Well, rabbit holes I don't think are usually like this.
Oh, okay, that's good. I just thought we were like falling down this like well of water. That's kind of how it feels when you're water. You just kind of float down to the bottom.
Oh,
It's fun.
some sort of magic.
Whirlpools are fun. Wow, they're a lot of fun. Anyhow, we should go that way, yeah?
Yeah.
Here is a omnium if you want it. Um, so um, you find yourself in a long, low hall, which is lit up by a rows of lamps that are hanging from the roof. And there are doors all around this hall, um, that you can see all different shapes and sizes, colors, and with different doorknobs and stained glass and just a long hallway of doors.
Well, this is a lot different from the last time we were here. Last time we had mud. This is doors. I don't do well with doors.
I guess we can start poking our heads through them.
Okay. And that will open a one.
The door is locked
Oh,
with no keyhole.
oh. This one doesn't like me.
Bailey will try one of the doors on the other side of the hall.
As you attempt to try the other doors, um, uh, you realize that they're all locked. Um, but just there's just more corridor of doors.
Well, we'll keep going.
Yeah, just keep trying the doors as we walk.
Unless you want to try to break one down, Lucan.
I don't know if this is a place that I really care to try and destroy.
I guess we're walking.
So as you walk forward, you come across a circular room full of doors, and you see a little three-legged table, all made of solid glass. And there's nothing on it except a tiny golden-looking key.
Huh. Well, none of the doors had keyholes. So there must be one door that has a keyhole.
You think one of them is in here? In this little room? Big room? Room?
Maybe.
And Thal will get on her hands and knees, I think, and start looking.
Roll an investigation check.
Okay. This is high. 7.
So, when you're looking around, you come upon a low curtain that you had not noticed before. And behind it is a little door about 15 inches high with a keyhole.
I think I found where the baby key goes to the baby door.
Really?
Look. She holds it up. Look how cute.
One problem?
What's that?
How are we going to fit in there?
Well, maybe it's like the rabbit hole. I mean, like you said, it's probably magic.
We can try.
Yeah. Do you want to try it? Bailey?
Sure. She'll hold out her hand for the key. Did anyone pick it up yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Then she'll pick up the key from the table.
You try the little golden key in the lock, and to your delight, it fits. You open the door to find it leads into a small passage, not much more larger than a rat hole. And when you kneel down to look through the passage, you see the loveliest garden you have ever seen. It has beds of bright flowers and cool fountains and just a loveliness to it all.
I mean, it looks beautiful on the other side, but it doesn't seem like we can fit through there.
Oh.
Is there anything in this room that maybe would expand the door? And she'll stand back up and look around for anything that seems magic.
So, with no use waiting by the little door, you go over to the table, half hoping you might find another key or maybe a book of rules for shutting people up like telescopes that you can shrink yourself down and get inside. But this time on the table, you find a little bottle, which certainly was not there before. And round the neck of the bottle was a paper label with the words, "Drink me," beautifully printed on it in large letters.
Well, I guess we could drink this.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I'm a little wary of it.
Oh. Well, I'll be
Well,
the guinea pig.
I was gonna say I opened the door, so someone else's turn.
Okay. And Thal will drink
Oh,
a little.
only don't drink it all.
I'll take a little sip.
So, you taste it, finding it very nice. In fact, it has a sort of mixed flavor of cherry tart, custard, pineapple, roast turkey, toffee, and hot buttered toast.
There are things I've never tried before. I just tasted you guys. It's really good. Try it. I didn't do anything though.
And then all of a sudden, Thal finds herself only 10 inches high.
Hi guys. You guys got really big. I think the potion worked in reverse.
No, I think it worked just right. You're tiny, Thal.
But I mean, I don't have a tiny heart.
That's very true. You do not have a tiny heart.
All
Well,
right. Well, bottoms up. And Bailey will take a little sip from the bottle.
Elowen will take it from Bailey before she starts to shrink, and she'll take a little sip and then hand it to Lucan.
Lucan will also go ahead and take a sip.
You all start shutting up like telescopes and become 10 inches high. For a moment, it almost feels like maybe you would shrink too much, but you came to just the perfect height with the sips that you were able to, and now the bottle is empty. Um, you are all now the size of the height of the door.
Well,
Well, that worked.
yeah,
All right.
I like this under place.
All right. Let's go find Fairy Godmother.
So as you uh, uh, head over back to the door, hold on, let me see. You have realized the door had shut, and the golden key is no longer in its place.
Oh,
And when you look back over at the table, the golden key is back upon it.
Oh, shit.
well, that's quite a pickle.
Is the door still locked?
Try it.
Bailey will try to open the door.
You realize that the door is unlocked.
Oh, good.
Perfect. She opens it and steps through.
On the other side of the door, you see this vast, beautiful garden full of giant flowers and blades of grass, almost like a forest, but you're just the size of like a dormouse, perhaps. There is a pathway that follows through of cobblestones and different multicolored chessboard, black and white squares, as you follow this pathway down into the garden.
Well, the last time we found Fairy Godmother, they're in the Hollow Stories, and this does not look like the last under we were in. I know it's all timey-wimey and wibbly-wobbly. Oh, do you see any signs? And she'll look for signs.
There are no signs in the discernible area here.
Maybe we should just continue up the path until we see some kind of landmark.
Or maybe the Cheshire Cat will make an appearance.
Great.
Salem?
Yes.
You venture forward, kind of just taking in the sights and the smells of Underland, and it seems somewhat familiar for what you're used to. And then you finally come across a small little creek, and there are dominoes set up across the creek like little stepping stones to get across. And you see that a cat materializes in front of you. And then he says, "About time, too."
Hi, Salem.
Are we late?
"What? Have I eaten?"
No, are we late? We mean about time.
"It's about time, too. Alice has defeated the Jabberwocky, and you weren't here for the celebration."
Oh, I'm so sorry we missed it.
"Yes, the Queen of Hearts' head has been rolling down the river since the celebration. It's been perfect."
Oh, well, I'm glad that her head is off.
It
Wow.
happened so quite suddenly, too, as if someone wished it into existence.
Wait,
Did
what?
Yes, just all of a sudden. The queen gets her head chopped off, and Alice becomes queen of Underland once more.
You don't think that has to do with Obsidious, do you? But he was working
Oh,
with the queen.
I'm not too worried about nightmares here, my dear.
Well, I was wondering maybe he had a hand in the queen's death for some reason. I don't know why he would want to kill her.
Thankfully, we haven't had much worries about him here in Underland.
All right. So, where do we find Alice?
Hmm. Probably at her palace.
And where is that?
Well, you don't have to follow a yellow brick road to get there. Follow this pathway down past the Duchess's place. Once you get to the Tolji Wood, follow the signs.
Oh no, not that place again. Is that also where the Hollow Stories is located? We're just looking for Fairy Godmother.
Oh, Fairy Godmother. She's been in quite a tizzy training that new underling of hers. I suppose he would become a full Fairy Godmother by now.
Bless you.
I hope so. He was taking tests last time I spoke to him.
Yes, and I do believe he's on his last, final test before he too can become a Fairy Godfather. If you want the Palace of Heart's Desire, I'm sure Alice is not going to be able to help you with that.
And can you help us with that?
Of course I can.
Oh, you're such a nice kitty.
Well, I suppose Eliot had stopped by not too long ago and gave me a stern talking to make sure I help you in every which way I can.
Well, we'll have to thank Elliot for that. Actually, he listened to us. He said that you might not listen to us, which is worrisome. But yeah, thank you for helping.
I do what I can. Now, if you'll follow me,
Okay.
you follow the Cheshire Cat down through the valley of the garden, and you're passing along, giant mushrooms and trees and flowers, and the sweet smells of lilac and lavender fill your noses before eventually coming to an oddly shaped tree with toadstools and mushrooms growing out of it. Salem disappears up into the branches of the tree, and then his head appears, then along with the rest of his body, as he paws lazily on the branch. And you see a door appear in the tree. Pass through, and you'll be back to the Palace of Heart's Desires.
Wow,
Thank you,
that's
Salem.
easy.
Of course.
Is there anything you need? You've been very helpful.
A catnap.
Oh, I can't help you
He,
there. That's kind of a
he
big thing.
stretches out how cats stretch and arches his back and then just moves forward, and then you see his tail start to disappear, and then along with his body, and then finally just his head stays before spinning in a circle and says, "Have fun," and then disappears.
All right.
Why
That
did
was
that sound
easier
ominous?
last time. I'm sure it's fine. He's always messing with us.
True.
Well, let's go through this door.
Let's go.
Yep.
You pass through the door, and you find yourself in front of uh, a thatched roof cottage, in a small labyrinth, and you hear music coming from behind the cottage, and you see these paper lanterns hung up through the trees, and it sounds like someone is singing along to music.
This does not look like the palace. It looks like a
No.
house.
Elowen starts towards the thatched roof cottage, and she's looking around. Hello? Hello? Is anyone here?
uh as you go into the backyard where the paper lanterns are all hung up, and you see this long table full of pots and teacups and a heavy kind of fog lifting over the air as the music takes up to where you are, and you hear two voices singing, very merry on birthday to me, to you, a very merry on birthday to you, who, me, yes, you, oh, me. let's all catch you later with another cup of tea. A very merry on birthday to you. And they start.
So starts clapping.
As you're clapping, they both drop their tea and both like look over to you, and you see that it's a man in a green outfit and a large rabbit in a red waistcoat. And they're like, "Oh, no room, no room, no room, no room, no room at all!" And they start jumping over each other to try to get to you at where you've entered.
Oh, that's fine. We don't want tea.
You see that there is plenty of room at the tea party with plenty of chairs open.
We're kind of just looking for the Palace of Heart's Desire. Do you know where that is?
Now, it's very rude to come to a party without being invited. And then the man says, "Well, I'll say it's rude. Very, very rude indeed."
Look, we're just passing through. We don't really have any interest in joining your party.
But, oh, Hazard, they don't want to join us for tea. Well, I say, that's very... They don't want tea. They don't want tea. Well, fine then. You're invited.
Oh. I mean, we still don't want tea. We want the God Fairy. Do you have her in one of the teapots?
Oh, what a delight. She is. And he like puts his elbow into a cup of tea and he starts like trying to pull it off. He's like, "Oh, well, we never have any people to come for our tea parties. You must have a cup of tea." And the hare goes, "Ah, yes, indeed. A tea. You must have a cup of tea." And he picks up a pot and he starts pouring it and then into the air. And you see a cup of tea just appear in sugar cubes into his hand.
Sorry, it doesn't look like there's any room.
"My dear child, this is my birthday party."
Well, it is such a kind invitation. I guess we could just stay for 5 minutes if that is all right.
"Of course. It must be your birthdays as well."
Or what?
Yes.
"Oh, wonderful. Everyone, have a seat."
Okay. Thal sits.
Bailey sits down.
Elowen does as well.
Lucan does, because everybody else did.
So immediately the teapots and cups start moving around the table. They start pulling tea into your different cups around the table in front of you. Oh, what a wonderful happy birthday. Now, you said you were something about the godmothers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, perfect. Why do you need her?
It's kind of a long story.
Oh, we have plenty of time.
But we don't.
Oh, how unfortunate. Well, here. And the Mad Hatter takes out a pocket watch in his hand and smashes it on the table and says, "Oh, no time here. So you can have as much time as you need."
Unfortunately, we're very late for an important date.
Oh dear, you sound just like the White Rabbit.
Well, we just need Godmother's help with a project. Like, we need her. I think we need her
Well,
wand.
well, then how about you try a cup of tea? I have curiosity, creativity, any type of tea you need.
I'll take creativity.
Creativity coming right up. And the pot pours a teacup just for you.
She drinks it.
Immediately, Thal's body like collapses over onto the table and then disappears. "Oh, yes, perfect. Invisibility.
Where is she?
She's where she needs to be."
Thal?
I don't like that.
Can I
Elo-
talk?
No.
Elowen gets up and she like because he said invisibility, so she waves where Thal was. Is she can Elowen feel her?
No, she can't. You can't feel her at all. Oh well, perhaps it wasn't invisibility. Maybe it was transport, a transportation, a team.
Transportably?
Hmm. I'm not sure, but where she needs to be is where she needs to be.
Bailey stands up and dumps her cup of tea out on the flowers on the ground. Where did you send her?
Where she needs to be.
Maybe this is like the maze.
Ooh, a maze. I love a good maze.
You guys do, don't you, down here?
Well, it's the under. What else are you supposed to do?
Have tea parties.
Exactly. 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 Now, have your tea and you will be where you need to be.
Okay.
Elowen, I don't know if you should drink it.
Thal wants somewhere and she's alone. I don't think it would be a good idea to leave her alone.
Are you sure you're gonna end up where she is?
There's only one way to find out, and it's not any worse for me. And she takes a sip.
Immediately, Elowen collapses onto the table and then disappears.
Bailey looks at Lucan.
Have I ever told you how much I hate this freaking place?
I'm with you. I don't want to drink it.
I mean, I don't either. But I have a feeling that we have to.
We don't have
Okay,
to do anything.
that's true. But at least they're out of this unbirthday tea party.
Oh, you don't want to be here? Well, then drink your tea, and you'll be where you need to be. I don't know how much more I had to explain myself.
Bailey sighs and snatches another cup of tea up off the table.
Oh, not that one.
She sets it down. Which cup?
Here, which one? Well, let's see. We poured the one for. I'm
Oh,
not
for the
sure.
love of God. He's gonna like split his cup into like another empty cup and hand it to her.
If we end up in the void, I swear to God. And she'll clink her glass against Lucan's. Drink it.
Oh, but you forgot your sugar. One lumps or two.
I
The
just finished
sugar.
the tea.
Well, perhaps that wasn't the right tea. It sounds like ferocity, or instability, or something.
You're
Mean.
gonna see fatality if you don't send us back to where our friends are.
I tried helping you, but you constantly did not want to drink your tea like your friends did. They are now where they need to be, and now you are stuck here having tea. Oh, what a delight!
She takes out her dagger and points it straight at the Mad Hatter. Where the fuck do we need to go to get back to our friends?
Whoa, whoa, no need for
You weird
hostility.
little man, where are they?
You drink way too much hostility today.
You haven't seen a thing.
Oh, I've never been threatened at an unbirthday party before. It is quite exciting. Well, here, I guess you could drink this one.
Does it have all the sugar it needs?
Well, I don't know. I think your friend sapped it all away.
She puts her dagger back. I don't like sugar in my tea.
Oh, ho! You don't like sugar in your tea? Well, this is no time for a tea party if you don't like sugar in your tea. How about some marmalade?
No,
No? How about some milk?
no,
Oh,
I
you're
just like
very
it.
feisty.
I like it bitter.
Bitterly, you will take your drink and be where you need to be. Enjoy.
Drinks
At
the
least
damn
it's
tea.
out of this place.
Bailey immediately collapses onto the table before disappearing as well.
Lucan drank his as at the same time that Bailey did.
Lucan, you disappear as well. Eventually, you meet Thal and Elowen at the base of the Palace of Heart's Desire.
What took you guys so long?
We couldn't decide how much sugar to drink.
Oh,
Okay, we're at the palace. Fair enough.
I'm excited to
Well-
see Talib and see how he's gone on.
I bet you are. It's been a while since you've seen him.
Just a bit.
Well, let's go.
If you want some ambience. Um,
I don't know how he's standing being down here this long, or up here, or wherever the heck this place is, here this long.
It's not that bad, I don't think. It's a little kooky.
When you're not used to magic, this is a lot.
With Underland, I think you just have to roll with it.
Like this, and Thal just starts rolling on the ground.
you what?
I just start rolling. Like she's just somersaults on the ground.
You arrive at the
Right in.
front of the
Sorry.
palace gates, and they open inward. As you see this grandiose entrance hall that you remember. And then you see descending the stairs a woman in periwinkle robes and a large magenta bow and her hood up with her white snowy looking hair. She goes, "There you are, dears. I'm so happy to help you back. Welcome, come on in." And she descends the stairs.
Fairy Godmother, it's very good to see you.
And it's very good to see you too, Elowen. Oh, and she like goes in for a hug and kisses you on both cheeks.
She gives her a tight hug back and then steps away and she's like, how's it been? How's Talib?
Well, after you had all disappeared, I was able to get Alice to the Jabberwocky. She got him taken care of, and then, as if by magic, I sent something very interesting there, and with through the weave, almost like a wish spell had transported itself through the under, and the Queen of Hearts, her head. Terrible for her, but amazing for Underland.
How could that work? A wish spell?
Wish spells are one of the most powerful magics on this earth.
Oh.
I thought that was love.
Of course, that's why it's one of them.
Oh,
You haven't been in touch with any genies, have you?
Uh,
Very recently.
mm,
about a couple months ago, but we didn't wish anything.
Huh.
Did we? Evelyn wished it.
Oh dear, the evil queen wished it. I wonder
Well-
why she would get rid of one of her compatriots.
She's not evil anymore. She's really nice, actually.
Evelyn, the evil queen, is no longer evil?
Well,
Correct.
to us, she's not evil.
she's turned a new leaf.
She
You
saved our
kind of
lives.
helped her.
Well, I suppose that anyone can start to become anew and join the light side. Good for her.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose you also want to know how Talib is doing. Well, let's just see. And she's like, now, where did I put my wand? She like looks in her like sleeves and she looks in her cloak and she's like, oh yes. And she she like pulls it from thin air and her wand appears. Oh, that like just like this.
Wow. That was so magical. I'm gonna
Well, I
be
am
right-
the fairy godmother after all. Now, let's see. Higgins, figure. No, that's not right. That is another wizard. Abrac. No, that's not right now. What was that spell? Can you remember?
Bippity.
Bobbity?
Zalakadoo, la michikaboo, la bippity boppity
Boppity
boo.
boop.
and glittering magic kind of sparkles everywhere. And Talib appears in periwinkle robes and a magenta tie, and looking very dapper, young man. And immediately he's like, Elowen! And he goes up and
Talib.
hugs her real tight. Oh my gosh, you're here. I have so much to tell you. I'm sure you have so much to tell me too.
Yes. It's so nice to see you. You must have passed your test.
I have one more thing to do, and I officially become a fairy godfather.
What do you have to do?
Well, I have to help my charge.
Who's your charge?
Well, does anyone have a mirror?
I
Oh,
actually don't.
oh wait. No, Evelyn took my mirror.
Actually, I think I do. Bailey has a little hand mirror in one of her kits that she
This
pulls
will
out.
perfect. This will do perfect. Now, Elowen, I want you to hold it in front of your face.
Okay.
Who do you see?
Me?
Yes, silly.
I'm your charge?
Of course. It would only seem fitting.
Oh, Talib. And she ruffles his hair.
Hey,
How
now.
far we both have gone.
It is. Fairy Godmother's been letting me keep an eye on you, and I've seen you've learned a lot. You were at the Magisterium and learning a lot of things.
Yes, I have learned so much. And Eliot officially uh, asked me to be his assistant, once this is all over.
Well, look at that. Two powerful beings asking us to help them out.
Hmm.
Doesn't that feel good?
Feels fantastic.
Good. Well, that makes me feel really good. Well, now what is it? What can I do for you?
Well, for us, pause. What did we need from Fairy Godmother?
Fairy glass.
Well, we, in order to basically go through with our plan and defeating Obsidious, we need fairy glass.
Okay, I can definitely help you out with that. Pretty simple charm, except I need one ingredient, dwarven diamonds.
We have one.
Belle opens her hand.
Talib takes it. He's like, and how did you? Wow, that's like pristine and perfect. Let me guess. You got this from Bald Boulder?
I assume so. That's the area we were in.
I can tell by the way it has grown from the earth. It's really gorgeous. Oh, you must have celebrated the Night of the Remembered.
We did.
Yes, we did.
What? Did you have a good time?
Mostly, yes.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, easy peasy. I can just go ahead and bippity, boppity, boo. And you see the diamond rise up into the like air basically, and it shimmers and sparkles, and then you see like just this bright light blast off with like rainbows and colorfulness as it comes down, and you see a like a beautiful looking like a vase, with a little stopper on top with that of a little bluebird as the stopper. Well, there you go, your very own fairy glass.
It's perfect. Thank you, Talib.
Of course, of course. And Fairy Godmother goes, well, Talib, that's it. You've completed your training, and you are no longer a fairy godfather in training. You are official.
Yay!
Thank you, Fairy Godmother. I couldn't have gotten to this point without your help. Oh no, dear. It is all you. You had courage, and you have always been kind, just like your friends here. Now, is there anything else that we can do for you? There's a lot more we have to in preparations for things going on later here.
Here? What's happening here?
Alice's coronation of becoming Queen of Underland.
Oh,
Oh,
I
how
see.
lovely.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
I don't know if we'll have time. I don't know how time really works here, but we're under a Fae contract with one of the Fates.
Ah, I I see. Then you won't have time to stay, but I will definitely give Alice your best wishes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have you seen Ella at all? That poor dear. No.
Actually,
No.
well, something happened on Everas, and a lot of people disappeared. Like almost everybody. It feels like we're at this big party, and then Maleficent happened, and then Obsidious happened, and then poof, and then we found out Eliot wasn't Eliot, and we found the new Eliot. Yeah.
At the mention of Maleficent, you hear three voices in unison echo throughout the palace. Maleficent! And you see three fairies fly down from the upper balconies, one dressed in blue, one dressed in green, and one dressed in red. Oh, that old hag. What is she up to now? Oh, Flora, Fauna, Merriweather. Please, Maleficent can be dealt with. Her power is nothing here to us. Well, we know that, Fairy Godmother, but you know she's always up to something. I do, but I also know that these people here are the keepers of Everas, and they will figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why we're doing all of this.
Oh, well, hello, dears. My name is Flora. This is my sisters, Fauna and Merriweather. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Thal.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Elowen.
Baili.
Lucan, more fairies.
All right. Well, if we don't have anything here, we're trying to bake a cake for Alice, and it's not going as good as Rose is. Oh, Aurora now, I should say. She is queen after all. Now, we're trying to bake her a cake, but we are missing one important ingredient. No, we're not. I said we had it all, Flora. Merriweather, we do not have it already. We need something called flour. It's pronounced flower. Oh, well, I can't read all of this nonsense. All I know is how to wave my wand and things happen. I don't like using no magic sometimes.
Why are
Well,
you not using magic?
we're trying to be better at it. So if we study more and use it less, we'll be better. At least that's what Fairy Godmother says. Dears, I said to use your magic less when you don't know how to use it. I didn't say you couldn't use it. Oh, well, hither thither. Okay,
You need
well,
some help baking a cake?
oh yes, we absolutely... Merriweather, we are fine, dears. Thank you so much. We handled Rose for 16 years. I think we can handle a cake. Now, it was a pleasure meeting you all. We have things to prepare for. If you need our help, just call. And they shrink down into little sprite sizes and fly off away.
Oh.
You might need to help them with the cake.
I'm sure they can take care of it. There's flowers everywhere.
No, they need baking flour, not flowers.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
Uh,
Hoy.
Either way, we have an obligation.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked.
It's fine. I mean, I know our job as keepers is to help everyone, but I think maybe sometimes we have to pick our battles.
You're correct. Fairy Godmother, one question.
Of course, dear.
Your librarian here. Is there actual books with information in them, or are they just people?
The Palace of Heart's Desires only holds that to the Hall of Stories, which is the stories of people who have experienced Everas, have lived and died. Unfortunately, no, we do not hold any information on anything else, as that was banned because of someone who had came here. You all know her as Evelyn, when she destroyed her own Hall of Stories in the Hall of Villains. We had to remove all types of different books in case someone would come to try to learn about their enemy's weaknesses.
Of course. Thank you.
Of course. Now, are you looking for something specific?
Yes, just a curiosity. Our friend is currently hunted by a being who is going to take her soul. And I was wondering if we could help her.
Is it a rave?
A hellhound.
Oh dear. The balances must have been on put. Well, Unfortunately, hellhounds are very good at doing their jobs, but there has been a way to get around that. I've only seen it done once.
With Aurora.
Exactly. The sacrifice of hearts.
All right.
Suppose you should talk to her.
Do you know where she's at, or should we ask her fairies?
You suppose you could go to Oridon and ask her, or you can definitely ask Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather. They might know more.
Okay.
Because Evelyn saved us all.
Oh, I see. Well, if Evelyn saved you, then I suppose that it might be something that you could talk to her about.
Okay. And I have a question, just in case the Fae steer us wrong. Where is a dragon thorn?
Ah, Dragonthorn. It grows where there has been true evil touch the earth, like when Maleficent cast her curse over Oridon to put the people to sleep. Suppose that might be one of the few places you could look for.
Okay, so I feel like everything's leading to Oradon right now. That's, I mean, that could be good and bad. I don't know where Maleficent is. I think Eliot said he was at some Forbidden Mountain place.
Ah, the Forbidden Mountain. That is where Maleficent's castle resides.
And a big beast with wings. Not
Ah,
the Belrog, but the Chernabog.
the devourer of worlds. That is where Chernabog rests.
Oh, that sounds scary. Okay.
The good news is that creature has been put under a sleeping curse that not even Maleficent herself could break.
Could Obsidious break it?
Well, not unless he had the powers of all creation at his disposal.
Well,
I-
you see,
He's kind of in Eliot's body.
What?
He kind of took over Eliot's actual body. His heart body is an Everas too, so there's two of them. Last we knew, Obsidious didn't really have too much magic, but we don't know if it was like a trick.
Well, Obsidious doesn't have much power in this world. His power resides in the void. That's why it's easier to wake up from your nightmares in this world and get rid of him. But in his world, he's much more powerful. But if he has something here, like Eliot's power, I do fear that he might be able to do more than we had once thought.
I feel like we should have Eliot not be an Everest, like our Eliot. I
What do you
know
Is
suppose
it-
he should be?
here, it seems like here he'd be safer for some reason.
Well, if Eliot's power comes from himself, he might be the only one to break this Obsidious's version. Eliot's void self, if you will.
This whole thing makes me nervous. I think like we're tempting fate. Oh, there's fates again. Damn it.
I know,
Well-
and we don't even know if the fate is actually on our side.
The fate is on no one's side.
You promise?
I promise. It is the fate's design. They cannot change your fate and they cannot change your destiny. There is one woman who understands this very clearly. Her name is Merida. She hails from the kingdom of DunBroch. She might be able to help you with fate's design.
Do you suggest we go to Merida before we go back to the fate?
I suppose this is a time in your life where you have side quests, and you must choose what you want to do first.
So do we go Oradon or do we go find Merida? What's more pressing?
Merida
Hmm.
sounds not so dangerous than a dragon thorn.
As the dragon thorn would be close to Maleficent.
Right.
But we could talk to Aurora and see about the Hellhound business. She looks at Elowen. Because I don't want to lose our friend.
No.
But if it has to come to that, it does.
It's
I
not.
don't.
It's not going to come to that, Elowen.
Maybe we should go see Merida first. Get an idea, because Obsidious said something about him working with the Fates. And I don't know if our plan is secure from him. What if the Fate told him and we're doing this all for nothing? And we can't actually move the flower into the elder tree.
Right.
So I guess we go find Merida.
Before we risk it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Then to DunBroch you must go. You remember the Chamber of Portals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I have much to prepare for before Alice arrives. Again, I will send her your love and admiration, and good luck to your journeys. And Talib, don't forget to tell your charge how to reach you. Oh, actually, Ellen, can I talk to you privately?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll meet you all in the Chamber of Portals.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you there.
Fairy Godmother walks back up the stairs and goes around, and she, like, you can hear her, like, fussing, like, oh, the decorations, those three fairies get on my nerves. And she goes off, and then the other three, you go towards the Chamber of Portals. And Talib says, Elowen, you're my best friend, and I know when you're hiding something.
It's that obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, I could read you loud and clear. That friend is you.
And also our friend.
Who? Evelyn?
Yeah.
You trust her?
I know it sounds crazy, but she's changed. She saved all of us. She's helped us in so many ways. And you can just feel this growth in her heart.
She's poisoned Snow White and took her heart to summon Oaknose.
I know.
She cursed Everas to make people forget who they are and change their stories. The people she's killed is the war she started.
But do we forever label someone as a horrible villain and not give them that chance to win back the people that she has wronged? Or will she always go along thinking how horrible she was and continuing down that path?
All I know is when you change fate's design in their story, bad things happen.
I don't have a hellhound coming at me because I forgave Evelyn. I brought back a young boy. His mother was sobbing. He was so young. He was barely a teenager. I fiddled with magic I didn't understand.
It's dangerous, but you did the right thing.
Did I?
You,
Now the balance is out.
we'll figure this out. I'm your fairy godfather now. Fairy god brother. I feel that feels a little better.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. But
Well,
there's only one person who escaped from a hellhound. And her prince sacrificed himself.
hmm.
I'm not going to let anybody sacrifice themselves for me and my choices and consequences.
Philip was only able to do that because of true love.
And my whole group said that they would do that for me, and I can't. Either we find a way to appease the Hellhound that does not mean more death, or before I go, I'll see you again.
All right. There's someone I need to talk to. Maybe I can get some answers.
Okay,
I'll
let me know
figure
if
this
you
out.
do.
Of course. And you can get a hold of me. It's pretty easily. Just call my name if you need me.
Just call your name.
Yep. And I'll be there.
You know, this would have been so much easier when you first fell into the Under.
Yeah, it would. We've grown a lot, but your friends are waiting for you. I don't want to keep you too long.
Great. And she hugs Talib. Let me know if you find anything, and if I hear it getting close, I'll call for you, and I'll say goodbye. Because Grandmother Willow told me to embrace death as a friend.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck. I'll see you soon.
You too. Fairy Godbrother. And she tussles his hair again before walking up the steps to the portal room.
So you go off to the Chamber of Portals, and you find your friends all waiting for you. And Belle is there just kind of talking to them at the through like one of the like magical portals. She's not physically there. She's somewhere else, but she's like, oh, and then Beast is still so upset about the enchanted object. We haven't figured out a way to get them uncursed, but we're trying.
Well,
Oh, Elowen, are you
Oh,
guys ready?
hello. Yes. Wait, I thought the curse broke.
No. We thought it did too, but they turned back to their enchanted object selves.
Well, we're going back to the Abori people. If my mother's there, I'll have a talk with her.
Okay. Well, if you could, I'd appreciate it.
Of course.
We're still trying to figure this all out. Eliot came by earlier and said that you guys needed our help, and we'll be there when we can. He said he's gathering the other princesses.
yeah, we're just, I don't know, really worried about him, too. Did he seem okay?
He seemed better than I've ever seen him before. When he gets that look in his eyes, you know how he can be.
Stubborn?
Stubborn, yes, but he knows what he's doing.
Hopeful.
Always has hope. Sometimes even when I lose hope, I think about him and his stories. But anyways, your friend said that you're going to DunBroch, is this correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. I will set the portal glyphs here and done. Okay. If you guys step through the archway, you'll be transported to DunBroch.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm here when you need me. Good luck.
Bye.
And you all step forward through the portal and enter this beautiful, vast looking valley of rolling hills and green lusciousness and trees, and hawks soar throughout the sky, and this magnificent looking stone castle juts up on the hillside. And you kind of get like a brisk in your step as you see forth the castle, and there are flags and banners and people all just around as you venture forth.
Well, this is different. I mean, like, good different. Is this more rugged than the other castles?
Yeah, but look how lively it is. It looks like Obsidious hasn't touched here.
Well, should we go to the big old door and knock like we normally do?
Yep.
Okay.
You go forth through up through the castle, and you're kind of passing through just listening to people, and just there's kind of an excitement to the air. As you you say you open the front door, or you just knock on it, or
Just knock.
you knock on the front door, and it kind of just like pushes open, and you see just like a gathering of people all around um, uh, the castle.
Oh, is there a Merida here?
You hear people oh, hold on, what the hell. You like open it up, and everyone kind of like looks at you, and then you realize that they're not looking at you, they're looking at a woman with bright red hair, with an apple in her mouth, like going to bite into it. And then she bites into it, tosses it, wipes her mouth, and starts walking forward towards the king and queen that you can tell. And she like marches up, and people start to bow around her. And she gets up, and she sits right next to her what's the king and queen. And everyone everyone is just kind of like, oh. The queen steps up, very, very, very queenly, and says, well, hello there. Are you here for the festivities today?
Why is it always a party when we come somewhere? No, we just had a couple questions for Merida about fate.
Everyone just kind of like looks at Merida, and she like slumps down in her chair. She's like, why is it always me?
You were recommended by somebody nice, actually, Fairy Godmother.
Oh, fairies again. All right, Mom, can I be done today? I'm sick of this. Merida, please, daughter. She will be done with you momentarily. All right, fine. I'll talk to you all later. And like as she screams across the hall, you kind of watch the processional as things are going on, and at one point Merida stands up and goes, I, Robin, jolly Robin, and thou shalt know of mine, and thou shalt know of mine. And then other things go on, and finally it breaks out, and Merida like tosses off her tiara, and she like makes her way over to you, and she says, all right, so what's this fairy business doing?
Elowen.
Uh,
Oh, you.
Oh, me? Well, Fairy Godmother told us that you happen to know a lot about the fate. And do you?
You said I know a lot about fate.
Yeah.
Hack. Of course I know a lot about fate. Changed forms me mum into a bear.
That's weird.
She
can return
seems
to a
to have
fish.
gotten better.
Well, lang you'll may a moose near land your colonel, and with a teardrop in his eye. Hasty back, me lassie.
Is she
I'm
speaking a
sorry,
language I don't know?
could you repeat that? I'm terribly sorry, but I'm really bad with certain dialects.
All right, jeez, I didn't know you didn't know my language. I thought we're speaking the same. I guess my accent's a little thick now, isn't it?
Just a bit.
All right, yes, I know a little bit about the fates and how I chose my own destiny, just had to be brave to do it. But yeah, it turned me mum into a bear one time when I tried to change my own fate. And then I spoke to these little blue glowing balls. We call them Willow the Wisps. They might be able to help you a little bit more than I could.
Really?
Yeah, you want me to
What
show
are
you where
these?
they are?
Yes.
All right. Mom, I'll be back. I'm going to take Angus out for a ride. And she goes over to what looks like to be like armory, and she puts on some arrows and a bow around her. And then she's like, "All right, are you following me?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're on a horse though.
I got a couple in the stable for y'all.
Oh,
Okay.
No, be careful about one of them. She's a little bit old, but if you give her a swift kick, she'll be all right." And she goes over to the stables, and she this beautiful large Clydesdale. She gets on the back of it. She pats it on its neck and says, "All right, Angus, we're headed to find some willows. Y'all know how to ride horseback."
a little. I rode a nightmare. That's what Eliot called it.
It's a mare made out of knights.
Listen, when I saw you back in Haven, I didn't think I'd be seeing you again. It's good to see you all, I will say. There's something about you I quite like.
It
Could
could
it
be
be
because
that
of
we're
the
the
keepers.
keepers?
That might be one of them. All right, Angus, let's go.
Ooh,
Come on.
okay.
Everyone roll animal handling.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
22.
Dirty 20.
14.
My page is loading. I rolled a 18, but I don't know what my modifier is.
Well, you said you rolled an 18, but you don't know what your modifier is.
It's a 2, so dirty 20.
Okay, that's fine. So you all managed to get yourselves on the horseback, but Thal takes a little bit of time to kind of like get herself in a reigning order, we'll say, and you all head off. Here, I'm gonna put another one. Oh, JK, not that one because there's voices in it, and I don't like that.
Dallas is gonna be like, I don't understand how your legs go apart this far.
I'll play this one because I like this soundtrack. Okay, so Merida says, "Well, after y'all disappeared from the party, we all decided to leave. It was kind of weird. And Eliot gets engaged, and there's a big old party, and then we couldn't find y'all.
Wait, you guys left.
No,
You
we
all
didn't go
just-
anywhere.
Oh yeah. We got transported, didn't we? That's what we decided.
Yeah, it was only us.
What did happen actually after we left? Like you just all left? What happened? Like where did Eliot go? Where did Chadwick go?
Eliot and Chadwick got engaged, and they started dancing, and then they tried to get me to dance, but I'm not really a good dancer myself. But then after some drinks and some merriment, Eliot had looked for you all, but you had gone away, so the party disbanded a little after midnight.
What about did you see Obsidious or Maleficent at all? Do you remember
Didn't
that part?
didn't see him at all. Something
Okay.
bad must have happened to you, lassie.
Well, we were at the party and everybody was dancing, and then Maleficent attacked, and Obsidious was there, and then we saw everybody get turned into these weird creatures, and then Sapphiria tried to defend the Eliot that was there, and then next thing we knew, we got transported with Evelyn, I guess.
Can't
Which we
say I
thought
remember that.
got transported actually. To us, it was the reverse effect, obviously.
I can't say I remember that at all, but my head gets a little fuzzy when I have a lot of ale in me.
That makes sense. I mean, it was a crazy night.
Maybe that only happened to us.
I heard old Obsidious can get inside your head, make you think things and see things that you ain't never seen before.
It's
Maybe it
true.
only happened to us.
But why only? Never mind. It's because we're the keepers. It has to be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you said you changed your fate, but what do you know about fate itself?
Well, are you talking about the fate or just fate itself?
The fate, the being.
Ah, how there used to be 3, now there's only 1.
Correct.
Yes.
Quite crazy how it happened. There were 2 for quite some time, but a couple months ago, and now there's only 1.
That
Mhm.
recent?
Yeah. Supposedly one of the fates was some type of fairy from a place where she takes in hearts or something.
Oh. Oh. That's the Queen of Hearts, you guys.
Shh.
There's an
She-
actual Queen of Hearts.
There is.
Yikes.
Was.
There was.
I think
I'm,
we
gl-
accidentally killed her. Or
I'm, gl-
Evelyn did.
I'm glad I got my own still.
But the one fate that's left, can it be corrupted?
Fates can't be corrupted. Unfortunately, they're not always on your side, but that doesn't mean they're also always on the side of your adversaries.
We
See,
think
there was this horrible demon bear called Mordu, and he also tried to tempt fate himself. Unfortunately, he got corrupted himself, but the fate was also not on my side. The fate is its own being. It had its own thoughts and feelings and its own agendas. No matter how much we try to change it, sometimes we can't. But then you touch the sky and all that jazz, you can change whatever you need to.
So if we just believe in what we're doing, we can change into our favor.
Yeah, you just got to prove yourself. I nearly thought my mom was going to be dead and my wee 3 brothers.
That didn't happen, and you saved them.
I did. After I killed Mordu. Crushed him, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of a quick thing, but that was a while ago. Well, actually, in the site is if the site itself.
do you think it would help if we saw it?
It might help. Here, we're coming up on it. Oh, Angus, hold on. And you come up to this forest with these giant stones all centering around in a circle, and one of them has fallen down in the center. She ties Angus up, and she hops down, and she looks over, and she's, "That's where it was."
This reminds me of Arendelle a little bit. Like the magic forest.
Well, Arendelle's just on the other side of this forest.
What?
There are 4 points to these stone circles. One here, one for Arendelle, and one for Corona, and the other one I haven't actually found yet. So I'm not even certain it exists.
I want
But
to
you think there's 4?
I've always heard stories of the wee lass. How about the 4 points of the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west?
Okay. What are
So
these stones for?
Well, they were built by an ancient people called the Northodra. They had carved their runes and ancient symbols on them. There were elements of the forest that took care of it. Water, air, earth, fire. But it wasn't until recently that that bridge was connected with Queen Anna and her sister, the fifth spirit, Elsa.
I know them well. Well, we all know them well.
Can't stand Anna. I thought with us being redheads that we'd be a little bit more of kin, but man, she talks a lot.
It's true, I guess.
She also can't pull back in a bow and arrow and shoot straight into a target. She tried once and nearly took off her husband's head, Christoph. It's actually quite funny. Elsa, she Used a little bit of icy powers. But that's all right.
Not a fan of magic?
No, despise the thing, actually. It's the whole reason I got in to mess with my mum and my brothers.
That's true, but not all of it's bad.
I suppose. Well, tell it to the witch who lives in the forest. Northodra herself.
Wait.
Northodra herself?
Yeah, she's Northodra. She's a witch
Oh,
father.
Oh, I thought you meant she was an Eldrodra. Okay.
interesting.
Okay. So,
So,
north is Arendelle.
Mm-hmm.
West is what?
Corona. No, I'm sorry. East is Corona. West, I'm not sure. Haven't traveled that far yet to find it. I believe that was probably where Mordu's clan was from.
Why do I feel like we need to go west?
I don't know. Why do you feel that way?
I don't know. It's like a current. I don't know.
do you feel that we need to find the fourth circle of stones?
Not sure why you'd need to do that, but I mean, I guess you could. It is west. Once you get to the center of the forest, you start heading due west. But
What
be
if
careful, it's quite dangerous that way.
We don't have all the time in the world. We just came off for a pit stop here to learn about the fate because we just needed to make sure that she wasn't in Obsidious's pocket.
Closest I got to the west was a bushel of thorns that grew up too much, couldn't go any much farther.
Like
Um,
Dragonthorn?
Not sure what dragon thorn is, but they were quite thick like a dragon's tail.
What did they look like other than that?
Black and dripping with ooze.
That sounds right. That has to be it.
well, we know where Aurora is then. Or was. At least.
The enchanted forest is quite large. Spans all across Oxley.
Okay. Is Wakefield in there?
The enchanted forest? No. Wakefield lies in the forest of dusk and dawn. Over in Altus.
Okay. Making sure the magics were getting mixed.
Yeah, I know. Magical forests. They ain't my thing, but I do know about them. Had to do them in princess lessons with me mum. God, I
Uh,
hated princess lessons. She doesn't have to make me do them so much anymore.
Are you not a princess?
Well, I kind of am.
Kinda?
Yeah, one day I'll become queen and I'll have to find a king or whatever to wed me, but I quite don't like the suitors from all the other clans. See, we had this big competition where I won my own hand.
Oh. She like looks at her hands. How do you win? How do you she's so confused. When
You
you're
fight,
in
if you fight for yourself and don't become a damsel in distress like other princesses here in this world.
Oh.
Always falling in love and singing songs to the woodland creatures. That ain't my thing. Just me and Angus here.
Can you marry Angus?
No.
I think that's frowned upon.
I don't know. Dolphins and crabs. I don't know. That can happen.
All right. Well, anyways, here's the site. If you need anything else, just head back that way. It's not that far from DunBroch. You'll be looking out for the blue little wisps. Follow it. You might get your answers if you need to.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Of course. It was good seeing you all. Goodbye, Baili. Goodbye, Lucan. Goodbye, Thal. And goodbye, Elowen. Good luck.
Bye.
And she
Bye,
hands
Merida.
on Angus
Thank you.
and pulls on his ring and says, "Yeah!" And they trot off.
All right. Let's find those wisps.
Okay. Lois.
And Bailey will keep walking in the direction Merida pointed to.
You kind of like take some time as a low fog covers the moors of the land, and you're going through like gnarly trees and things like that. Um, Eventually, you come across a little clearing where you see a blue floating wisp hovering in the air.
Oh, look at that.
It's swimming.
Perfect.
I want to swim.
Now we just have to follow it.
All right, so you follow it. There's another one if you want it. And you follow the wisp over hill and dale and passing through trees, and eventually it disperses itself into this large-looking willow tree with like shards of crystals growing out from the roots and from some of its branches. It's this beautiful, magical-looking tree. Some of its leaves look like they're glowing and glittering in the sunlight. And you kind of just stand forth in awe of this tree.
Wow.
Okay.
Elowen slowly walks up to it and she looks at the blue crystals. She tries to figure out if the wisps come from them, or if what kind of magic this is.
Roll an Arcana check.
18.
You notice that this is like elder tree sap, like this crystallized form. It's parts of the weave. It seems to be a staple of one of the elder trees that the roots have grown from. It's like its own stationary thing inside of Oxley. You know briefly from your time within the forest and the Arbori people that there are uh, tree roots that expand all across Everas from the elder tree, and each region has their own elder tree. You kind of put two and two together to realize this might be Oxley's.
Guys, I think I know what this is now.
What
The
is
elder tree, do you know how big it is?
No.
It's ginormous.
Well, yeah, we do. We went there.
Think
Just kidding.
its roots go miles and miles and miles to the different continents. And in each forest, there's usually a part of it that grows. And this is it. This is Oxley's part of the elder tree.
How do you do,
So
Elder Tree?
You hear a rumbling from behind the tree as
God.
as a twig snaps, and then out from behind the tree, a 15-foot stag of white fur and green growing uh, hair and tail comes around as you see its antlers are full of fair like little pixies and butterflies and things, and its eyes glow a beautiful shade of gold as it steps forward from out behind the tree.
Thal hides behind Lucan. That's scary.
Sintheir,
Yes, my child. I have waited long to see you. You've come so far.
thank you. It says, I have always longed to see you.
And I you. You have a lot of learning, but you have also come very far from where you once began, Elowen of the Arbori people.
Thank you.
Now, I know you have a heart's desire you wish to speak on. What is it, child? What can I help you with?
There's so much, but the fate.
Let your sorrows become mine and drift through the creeks and rivers that run through this forest. Let the earth hear you, and let your answers become you. Speak it.
Will it harm the elder tree if we bring the flower to it?
The eternal rose? Is this
Yes.
what you speak? The eternal rose has grown within Eden for a millennia, since the beginning of this very earth. I saw it just as a young sapling. The creature that guards it, Fleur, is benevolent. She will steer you no wrong. Trust in her. She will give you the rose if you complete her tasks. As to answer your question, will the rose harm the tree? That I must say it will. However, it is something that you must do to unite the people of Everas and thwart the adversary known as the nightmare fairy Obsidious. For he too plagues my dreams. No one is safe from him.
My people. Our one purpose is to protect the tree. If it's going to harm the tree, why?
Tell me,
How could I
Elowen,
do that?
during the autumnal season, what happens to the leaves on trees?
Well, the tree prepares for hibernation. They die, and the tree is in a stasis through the winter.
Exactly. So while it does harm the tree to lose its leaves, it will once more be reborn. When, I do not know. But the weave will shatter.
So magic will be gone.
It will be untwined. But it, just as any yarn, once unraveled, can be turned back into a poncho itself, like the very one you wear.
So if it must be done, we will do it. We are very close.
It is the only way to sever Obsidious's power over this world. With no magic, he cannot control anything, and you once more can trap him inside of the void.
Thank you for
Now,
answering our questions.
I'm sure you have more. Please, let me help you heal. Tell me what else you need of me.
How can I get rid of a hellhound?
The hellhound of which you speak shall remain its distance as long as I am with you and you believe in me. That is a gift I bestow upon you.
Thank you.
Once magic is severed, it will no longer follow you, as it will die, and so will I.
All magical things.
Anything of magical nature will perish. This world will come to an end, but just like any plant, it will be reborn.
I never wanted to be a part of that cycle, that part of the cycle, but that if that is my destiny,
Sometimes your fate is bestowed upon you at birth. It is written in the stars above. The lights of creation that flow during the winter nights above the mountains have told me that you and your friends here, Lucan, Thal, Baili, will all play an important role in the next chapter of Everas. This book might be coming to an end, but another one will be written. One that will be written in your favor.
I hope so, because Everas needs to be healed.
It does, my child. It does. But just like any cycle, Like I said before, it will be reborn as long as there is hope and love in the hearts of the people of Everas. And I can see it in the four of you. You have some of the most powerful magic I've ever seen within such a small group. You don't realize it yet, but your destinies are intertwined with the destiny of the Elder Tree.
We're gonna die.
He kind of like looks at you all with sad eyes as a slow misty rain starts to fall, as if the sky is crying and sorrowful with you. Are you all listening to this Braveheart music? Dude, it's like, I'm getting emotional. Yes, you will die.
When we place the rose in the tree, or when we banish Obsidious.
Once the rose takes heart and creates the new pillar of Everas, the weave will be unraveled, and that is your time to strike Obsidious. Once he returns to the void, the balance will be set, and the world will go into hibernation once more. One day, it will grow, and Everas will become whole again, but I do not know how long it will be.
Wait, will everyone die? Or just us?
Everyone.
We can't punish everyone.
There is no other way, for if Obsidious wins this war, everyone will be his slave. No free will, no hope, nothing but nightmare and darkness.
And this is it? There's no other way.
No, Everos must sleep for it to awake again.
How is death the only right option? This is everything we've been working against. What about Mia? What about Talib? What about everybody we care for?
They will understand the sacrifice you all must make for the greater good of the world.
Everybody in the world has to be sacrificed?
Unless you wish to become the slave to the nightmare,
Those can't be the only two options.
I have seen the future, dear child. There are two ways this ends. That in an eternal sleep, or that of an eternal nightmare.
That isn't
We-
fair.
We go to sleep or Obsidious goes to sleep, basically. What if Obsidious wakes again? Like, how do we make sure, like, is this the absolute way that make sure we kill him, even though we can't kill a nightmare?
Obsidious will not be able to return to the void. If he Obsidious will not be able to leave the void once that rose has been implanted within the tree. That rose is the heart of Obsidious.
Okay.
Wait. If the heart if the rose is the heart of Obsidious, what if we destroy it?
Destroying the eternal rose will cause nothing but the utter chaos and destruction of the world.
Okay.
Obsidious will be trapped in our world. He will not return to the void without it.
What? What if there was a way? I'm not saying that this fate for all of us is permanent? What if there is someone who could stay with the elder tree to help weave the magic back together and become part of the Everas pillar?
There are 3 slots to fill. 3 people will be saved.
We've already decided that.
They will be the ones to stay in Everas and make sure it is reborn once more. One of dark, one of light, and one of twilight. And I'm sure you know who those 3 beings are.
We do.
I can't believe it comes to this.
Your sleep will be awoken, but it will be an eternity that it would feel like. And then one day, when the Everas has been reborn, there is a chance that you will awaken. If that is the most hope that I can bestow upon you, you do it for that chance to reawaken once more.
I mean,
We do it for that slim chance. That small hope. Even though it's small, it's still hope. It's still a spark, a flicker of it. Because without that hope, where would we be? Slaves to Obsidious? I see what you're saying now. It's just heartbreaking.
I also kind of assumed that we weren't going to make it out of this.
That is why I must say, don't say it isn't worth it. Because even for a little while, people can sleep in their beds without being afraid. That kind of time is worth anything. Don't say it isn't worth it.
We'll do what you say. Thank you, Sintheir, for
Of course.
finally coming.
Of course. I am here for you, my child. I am always within you. And he bows his head to you. And when he comes up, you see him kind of disapparate into sprites and colorful magic as you feel it go inside of your soul and you feel the warmth of Sintheir.
Well, that's confirmation that of what Eliot said, at least.
Yeah,
And we know that what we're doing is the correct choice, which is what we needed. So now we just need a dragon thorn.
It just doesn't seem fair.
Yeah.
oh, Baili, didn't your mother ever teach you? Life's not fair. It's true, it isn't. But for that small glimmer of hope, we have to believe.
I feel like maybe we should each not separate and go home, but maybe we should see our families if we need to. You see Mia one more time.
We don't know where Mia is.
Mia's probably trapped in the void, Thal.
Oh yeah.
Maybe after Obsidious is back in the void, all the people will be released and we'll have some moments left before it happens.
Maybe. I mean, it kind of sounded like it would be instant.
We don't know.
I don't know what would be worse, instant or unknown moments of waiting. I
Well,
don't know. I don't know what I'd prefer.
Well,
we
let's
have
not
to.
dwell on it now. Let's pretend we never heard this conversation and we just need to go to the elder tree. Let's live like we're not dying.
First, we have to go west. Maybe Eliot's there.
Maybe.
Yeah. So go back to the North Alder Stones and head west.
Yes. I think that's our best bet.
Okay.
You
I-
guys head back to the stones, passing through, and then eventually you get to it. And then you said you start to head west.
Yeah.
You get back to the stones and you begin your journey headed west. Night slowly starts to come, and you're feeling a little bit fatigued from the day, and you think that it might be time to set up camp for the evening because there might be a little bit more of a journey going forward and farther, deeper into the forest.
Thal will set up her tiny hut for everybody.
Bailey just kind of sits with her back up against a tree within the tiny hut and processes all of that.
Elowen had gathered some edible mushrooms for everybody to eat and some fallen wood and sticks and created a small fire for
Okay.
everybody.
Thal. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Thal's gonna try to tear everybody up a little bit by making little water droplets into animals and floating around and like putting a little show. Just trying to cheer them up. The dolphins jumping through rings. Yay.
I know that it was hard to hear all of that, but I rather have the truth and that we know what's going on rather than us not knowing and it happening.
Yeah. Like I said before, I kind of assumed we weren't going to make it out of this one. Obsidious is really strong.
I didn't think we were, but I didn't know it was going to be all of Everas.
That's the bummer part.
We're responsible though. We're the keepers, and now we're going to end Everas.
It's either end Everos or Everos falls forever.
Oh.
There is hope. I mean,
It's
if Eliot
small.
thinks there's hope, there has to be some hope. And he's a, I mean, Sintheir is a god and he has hope, which is saying a lot because, you know, gods aren't very hopeful, you would think, because there's like, oh, well, tough luck, kid.
No. It's the first time I've heard Sintheir.
A little scary.
Really?
I mean, he's a creature with 4 legs. That's 4 legs that could like kick you.
But
I prefer tails.
he wouldn't kick us. We weren't doing anything harmful.
Lucan, you've been awful quiet. Are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe I'm the only one that feels somewhat on board with being like, yeah, okay.
Really? I mean, you and all of your nibblings.
I mean, what else are, like, the other option isn't an option.
No, I guess not.
We'd be alive, but all slaves to Obsidious, and that we're not really alive.
All I
That's what I
wanted,
mean, is how is that an option?
it's not.
Me or my nibblings being a slave to Obsidious? Nah. Just gonna go for it. Have to.
I don't want to live in fear my whole life.
I don't know. It just seems like. I mean, I didn't think that we would die from this. I was just hopeful. I mean, all I ever wanted this whole time was just to go back to a normal life and live a happy life with Mia, and that's just a hard thing to let go of.
But we could wake up.
Right.
You could get that happy life. Well deserved. There's that hope that it's there. And if you stop believing it, that hope is there, then it's never going to happen. You have to believe it's going to happen, because that's what it's going to get us through all of this. We're fighting for Everas and that small glimmer of hope that we can bring it all back. All the goodness of it back.
Well, I have hope. I think everything would be hunky dory.
You hear a rustling in the woods.
Who goes there? Thal hides behind Lucan.
And then you hear two muffled voices.
Should we spy on them?
Elowen steps out of the tiny hut and she looks around to see if she sees anything.
Eventually coming into the firelight, you see a woman in a straw hat that covers her face, and you see this sword on her, strapped on her back. And she seems to be in some type of Eastern looking wear. And then you see a man sitting next to her in a gray cloak. And it's Eliot. He steps forward and he says, I thought I'd find you well here.
How did you find us? We're in the middle of nowhere. Eliot, it's so nice to see you.
It's good to see you too. A little bird told me where you guys would be. He goes by the name of Sintheir.
Really?
Yeah, he got in touch with me and said that you all were in low spirits and could use some familiar faces. Well, from my familiar face, I should say. Everyone, this is my friend. She's a very powerful warrior. And, well, do you want me to introduce you, or will you? And the woman steps forward and she takes off her hat and ties it around her back, and she says, hello there. My name is Raya.
Oh. Well, hi, Raya. I am Elasia.
Oh, Eliot's filled me in on all of your names and journeys. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I heard you're all powerful warriors as well.
It's good to
Maybe.
meet you.
Somewhat.
Well, look how far you've gotten.
I mean, we walked pretty far.
Sometimes walking will have that, and you don't have someone like Tuk Tuk to help you traverse across the world.
Tuk
Tuk-
Tuk?
He's my friend. I come from a place called Kumandra.
I'm
Come
not
on.
familiar.
It's another world.
All right.
Okay. That's the least weird thing we've heard today. So yeah,
It's a land of dragons.
Oh,
dragons.
how interesting.
Yeah, but we'll talk about where I'm from later. Eliot brought me here because he said that you guys could use some help. I'm here to help.
Yeah, we definitely could.
With dragons.
Unfortunately, there was only room for one to traverse the world.
No dragons.
No dragons. But I'm a little famished. If you don't mind, I'm gonna make some soup here.
Yeah, of course. I found some mushrooms if you would like some.
Oh, perfect. I can throw in some noodles here, and don't worry, I'll have something whipped up if you guys are hungry.
Thank you.
Eliot puts a hand on Raya's shoulder as she gets to work on the fire, and Eliot looks at you all and is like, "You all look like you need a friend."
Yeah. Well, we got some bad news, I guess.
Sintheir told me.
Did you know this whole time?
He kind of like takes a moment to answer the question. Like you can see it in his eyes that he might be hiding something or that he's trying to find the right words. And Eliot says, "I had a hunch.
Why didn't you say something?
Because even if I told you, would you have believed me?"
Of course. Of course we would.
It's hard delivering news to your friends that they all might die.
And we're the ones who are going to do it.
You're the only ones that can do it.
Do we tell anybody or just keep it a secret and not cause panic, I guess, right? Like I want to tell my sister and my mom, but I
The
want
more,
them
the more
scared.
people that know, the more chaos that can ensue. An impending world end, that's not what we want.
And it would, if anybody were to speak, Obsidious could find out.
I feel like
Exactly.
if this sounds weird, and this is a weird idea that just popped into my mind after you said that, but what if we faked our deaths?
Faked your death?
Yeah.
What
Like
would that solve?
to lure Obsidious, you mean?
No, to keep them off our back. If everybody thought we were dead, then it wouldn't hurt our families as much if something went wrong, you know? I mean, maybe this hurt them even more. I don't know. It was a silly idea. Never mind.
I don't think faking your deaths will prove anything. If anything, it would lose hope in the world. The important thing to know is that there is a chance that this sleeping death you'll awaken.
Right. That's what we're holding on to.
You
Right?
have to.
Sleeping Death sounds really familiar for some reason.
Isn't
And,
that what Aurora had?
and Snow White.
So Evelyn's flavor.
It'll create a curse when we do that.
It when you place the rose inside of the tree, it's like a virus. The tree will try everything it can do to fight it. And once it does that, that's when it works its way through the weave and through all who are attuned to it, which is everyone on Everas.
And our magic will be the first to go, you think?
Everything, it'll happen at once. But that's why We have to strike Obsidious when that happens. We cannot wait.
Do you
Is
think
he
that's
going to come for us?
I've devised a plan of luring him to the Elder Tree. That is where the final battle will begin.
okay?
What's this plan?
I can't tell you. Just follow yours. Everything will make sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
You know, when I
yes,
thought we were on this adventure, I thought we would be able to defeat him, send him back to the void. Everyone would be released and we'd just go on our merry way. I even pictured, helping you grab books, and all those people.
that can still happen. As long as the sleep doesn't last forever.
And that's your guys' job.
To bring you back. And we will do everything we can to do so. But the thing is, since I don't want to hide anything from you, when you awake, we're not going to be there.
What?
Where are you going to be?
Part of the weave.
It consumes you.
So who's we? You, Sapphiria.
And Evelyn.
But as you know, there are 3 pillars: light, dark, and twilight. I assume that I will become the light. I assume Sapphiria will become twilight. But the thing with Evelyn is, she will have to remain dark. That doesn't mean evil, but that means that she will have to make a decision.
I wish we could talk to her beforehand, so she knows. But I know it's a little hard right now with whatever she is.
I've gathered up some of our friends. We're going to be rallying and trying to break Sapphiria and Evelyn out of the Forbidden Fortress.
You found them?
That's where they are. That's the only place that I could think of, at least, because they don't appear on any map, any constellation magic, anything pinpointing them to a spot. And there's only one area of dead magic for finding locator spells, and that's the Forbidden Mountain.
Even in the void, they would show up.
Even in the void.
Okay.
I mean, we found Eliot with Ahsoka's thingy in the void.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
And that mountain is where our dragon thorn is.
The dragon thorn exists where great evil has been, but yes, there is dragon thorn on that mountain. But as Raya and I were going through the forest, we actually found some.
You
Oh,
found some.
Yeah. Raya, she goes, "Oh, I almost forgot." And she pulls out her bag and she pulls out the dragon thorn for you. Yeah, it was just west of here.
wow. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I told you I would help you any way I could.
So what's
So-
the plan?
Your next
Yeah.
steps is to get back to Eden and return everything to Fleur and fulfill your end of the bargain. Then she will return yours.
What did we bargain?
She needed to test you to prove that you she could trust you. So once you return those items, she will also give you the Eternal Rose. And then you will take it to the Elder Tree, and the final battle will begin.
No, she said she took something from us.
I don't know what she took.
Okay. I don't feel ready at all, Mr. Eliot.
Well, you'll have friends. They will come at you at your time of need. They will help you along the way. They will be there for you. They promised me.
Okay.
Raya will stick by your side.
We should probably fly to Eden.
Fly, or would you rather just go through a door?
Oh. Oh yeah, you're here.
Doors are kind of my specialty.
I actually picked up some of that. It doesn't go as far, but
You did.
it'll take
All
some
right.
time.
It will. But I give you one last thing. I give you the blessing of the Blue Jay. And you level up to level 18.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
I don't like this. That was actually getting to the end.
Oh, it's the end.
No, I'm not ready, guys. So bittersweet. It just got so sad.
Oh,
Okay.
Make sure you rest. Make sure you heal yourselves. Make sure you prepare. Prepare your spells. Prepare your battles. Prepare your weapons. Prepare your minds.
Okay.
should we rest here tonight?
I guess it's only fitting.
All right.
Go to this tower.
To get us in the right mindset tomorrow morning, yoga will be done at daybreak, and we will start with meditative breathing.
Our journey begins once more. But here. And Eliot uses his magic to expand upon Thal's tiny hut and create a larger kind of inside than it is on the outside. Rooms, kitchen, baths, studio, whatever you need.
Well, that's really handy. I wish I knew that one.
Maybe you'll learn it now with my blessing.
Oh. True.
Listen, the pathway forward is set. I have faith that you all prevail. There are going to be hard battles before you. But your friends, each and every one of you, will help you. As I always say, your friends be your guiding key. Now, if you don't mind, I'm quite tired, so I'm going to retire for the evening. It's been a lot of traveling. I'll see you all in the morning.
Good night, Eliot.
Good night,
Daybreak, meditative breathing.
Sounds perfect. I'll be sure to wake you all bright and early.
Okay.
Get your sleep. For tomorrow, your journey begins again. And he steps into the doorway and puts his arm up on the door frame. And then he has his back to you, and then he turns and looks at you, gives you a shy wink before disappearing into the hut.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll end tonight's episode there.